MS Team muat kan? Saya rasa 100 boleh kot rasanya. 1 lebih. Right? Okay, so we just wait for the others . Alright, hari ni dengan kengkangan saya ni, hopefully by 1 hour the lecture should be done, should be finished. Okay, for the time being, may I remind you guys to actually pergi dekat your future and click attendance. Attendance jangan lupa sebab you all ni semua ramai, saya tak dapat, kalau MS Team ni dia tak ikut sequence dalam attendance list kita. So to help me in tracking your attendance, okay, can you guys go to you future and click. So this one we will do it every class. Okay, for each class session, untuk lecture kena pergi dekat you future. Alright, sorry about that. Tapi itulah, memang inilah sebab saya tengok dalam MS Team ni dia akan ikut sequence bercampur. Okay, tak ikut kelas dan sebagainya. Alright, okay. So we just wait for the others. Give them about 5 minutes. Okay, itulah actually ni I tak bawa balik my attendance list. Nak sebut-sebut nama ni, saya kena sebut nama dekat sini lah, but I do not know which program are you. Actually, from just the list here, attendance list kat the MS Team itself, right? So rasanya the others will join later, alright? Itulah, ada grup yang tengah berlari-lari lah kot, saya rasa hujan ni kan sekarang ni dekat fakulti yang I know and I understand you guys are, some of you are still from face-to-face class, physical class. Now for this class we having online, so mungkin on the way ke college ke something like that lah . Anyway, okay, before we start, sekarang ni saya tengah share. Nampak ke Nakib, Muhammad Nakib? what do you see on your screen now?
SOW.
SOW, alright. Okay, before that, can we have siapa yang boleh baca doa? Volunteer baca doa first. Hafiz baca doa, Hafiz. Amirul Hafiz. Okay. Amin. Alright, thank you, Hafiz. Okay, Hafiz, which program are you from? Mana? 259. Okay. C. 6A. Okay. Alright, okay saja je tanya. Alright, okay. So like what I mentioned, okay, sorry about that. 6C sebenarnya. 259 6C and 2665A. Thank you. Your willingness to join to this session. Okay, sebab like what I mentioned, I'm positive COVID, tapi okay, insyaAllah ada booster dan semua kan. Alright, demam 2-3 hari demam daripada semalam, tapi getting better today. Only that saya batuk, memang batuk lagi still sebab puasa kan. So nak puasa juga tak kisah, sebab kalau tak kena minum air banyak actually for this COVID punya ni kan. Tapi I try my best. Kita still puasa, alhamdulillah, so far so good. Cuma bila batuk tu, sorry if I'm stop some time in between my lecture, right? But I just try to simplify for this part 3, even though it is very important, especially for your group project. Okay, I need to proceed. I know it's very important, but still I need to. Maybe I touch a little bit on the important part only. For the rest of the thing, you need to read as usual, like what I always tell you. You need to read on your own. Read the textbook especially. Lepas tu kena prepare, dalam tu ada lots of information related to your project. Okay, all those financial model that you are going to use, your the template itself. At the end ada kat buku tu ada template dia. Alright, awak kena tengok dekat chapter 3 tu semua. Okay, the component that you need to have in your business proposal is all in chapter 3 actually. Okay, so basically for this, okay, like what can you see on your screen now? Alright, this is today is 11 April. We are at week 3, chapter 3, which we're going to finish up the topic on measurable organizational value and the business case. I already shared with you guys the slides. Actually, I believe that all of you already downloaded those from the Future and also MS Team. Okay, dapatkan daripada situ. Alright. And for today, I will cover that, and also I believe you're going to have some exercises with your lecturer for the tutorial. Okay, to enhance further on this chapter 3, measurable organizational value. Okay, like what I mentioned, okay, yang ini saya cross through because macam saya cakap, the assessment itself, okay, the assessment dia macam ni assessment dia ada mungkin midterm, final assessment 40%, midterm 20%. But again, maybe the lecturer, they are giving you a tutorial, right? If she decided to use one of the tutorial as your assessment, okay, they might do that as well. Okay, maybe. Okay, so midterm and tutorial can be combined both, right? And also we're going to have a group project. Okay, 40%. Right. So basically, this is what maybe there will be all those during your tutorial session. There will be a lot of exercises being given. Okay, even though it might be given marks or it might not be given marks ke apa-apa, you all memang kena buat because it will helps you to prepare yourself for the test, midterm test, final test, and also for your group project, of course, right? So this is what we're going to cover this week, right? Okay, any question about this? Tak ada question? Alright. Okay, I'm stop sharing that. Now I'm sharing with you my chapter 3. Alright, can you see my screen? What do you see on my screen now? What do you see on your screen now? Amirul ke yang tengah jawab tu? Amirul, hujan ke Amirul kat Shah Alam? Sebelah longkang. Okey, tak apa, tak apa. Amirul boleh tutup. Amirul boleh tutup speak your mic. Kita dengar yang daripada orang yang bukan dia punya bilik dia bukan di sebelah longkang, yang boleh clear a little bit. Kamarul, what do you see on your screen now, Kamarul?
I'm seeing the first slide of chapter 3, Information Technology Project Management, Fifth Edition.
Alright, okay, good, great. Okay, so this is sorry. Okay, this is on the chapter 3, like what I mentioned, measurable organizational value and the business case. Okay, so alright, here is very important because this is the one that you're going to develop, that you're going to identify first before you propose any of your project for your group project. You need to define what are the value of the project. Okay. Okay, saya tak on my apa tu, I'm not going to on my camera sebab memang macam merba lah sekarang ni saya. Okay, so sekejap, before that lupa. Saya kena I need to record first. Sekejap, mana recording kids ni, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wait, give me 3 seconds. Lagi ke? Okay. Alright. So, okay. Hopefully you can see back my screen here. Okay, first of all, you're going to describe and develop a project MOV. Okay, and you guys can see my chapter objective, right? And understand the purpose of business case. Okay, this is the one that I mentioned, the business case here, your proposal itself. Okay, here in this chapter, in this it mentioned about the business case sebab memang the project case by case basis, and it called business case. But normally I prefer to use a the project proposal because it is lighter. Okay, but in the industry they use it as a business case. Okay, the one that will be used as a baseline for your project plan, right? And prepare a business case. What are the documents? What are the formatting will be used, and so on. Okay, this chapter will tell you about that. They will provide you all the guidelines. Okay, just ignore whatever my WhatsApp group masuk tu my WhatsApp message masuk tu. Okay, so distinguish between financial and scoring model. Okay, like what I mentioned in your project proposal or business case. Okay, you're going to provide a justification of your project, why your project is worth doing. Alright, So nak tahu dia whether it is worth doing or not, okay, first it need to provide value, meaning that memang it can give you a return that can be measured and can be calculated and can be proven, which is through the financial calculation, which the financial calculation can be divided into you can use financial, for example, the net present value, the return on investment, the break-even point, and also the payback period. Those are among the popular financial model that have been used by many organizations to justify, okay, whether it is worth doing or not, right? And understand how projects are selected. Okay, instead of, okay, this is a scoring model. Okay, after you already do all those financial and so on, scoring model will provide you with the alternative. Okay, alternative A, alternative B, alternative C. In the textbook, they provide contoh alternative A. Contohnya adalah they provide, maybe you can just buy on shelf existing accounting system, for example. You just need a modification, customization. That is alternative A. Alternative B, maybe you just need to do business process re-engineering. You maintain with what you have, but you want to reverse a little bit to improve some of the process in the existing operation. Alright. So alternative C, for example, it can be you develop from scratch like what you are doing now. For each alternative ni, you will do the scoring. Which one is suitable, maknanya kena buat analisis for each one. That one you will see later. How the scoring model will look like based on the alternative that you already identified. Okay. So, and understand how projects are selected. Based on this scoring model, there will be a different evaluation. Mana yang kita nak pergi? Mana yang organisation prefer to? Okay, whether alternative A, whether alternative B, whether alternative C, for example. Right? So, this chapter will tell you about the characteristic of project selection. Like what I mentioned, project, you are competing the resources. So normally the manager, the top management or the sponsor will go after a project that provide the most value to the organization, right? So what is a measurable organizational value and project objective? Okay, sekejap. Okay, baik. Okay, the MOV is a measure of success, right? So it is measurable organizational value, meaning that whatever value that you claim, the project will give to your organization. For example, you claim that the project can give you more profit by having e-commerce system. Macam mana nak provekan whether it can give profit or not? Alright, so that's what you will come up with a measurement. Yang measurement tu guna macam-macam cara. It can be, for example, based on the sales profit that generate by the system itself. So it is a measure of success. If it can be measurable, whatever you claim, whatever you claim your project can give, then it can be measurable after the project already been used for 6 months. Of course, you want to measure betul ke tak berjaya ni dapat produk. Okay, how much If you promise you can give profit about 30% more, right? For example, so betul or not? So this is why MOV is important. Okay, MOV must support the organization vision, mission, and strategy. So MOV ni, this is a statement. It is we can say that it is a claim that you promise your project can give back to your can give back to the sponsor or whoever invests in the project. Alright, so whatever MOV that you set, of course it need to link with the organization vision and strategy. If that particular year the organization if that particular year the organization vision is want to get profit and to reach more customer. So if you propose a project, for example, to have the e-commerce website that align with the objective of the organization that want more profit, reach more target customer, of course this project can get a full support from the organization. So if you are the project managers, okay, awak ni sebagai project managers, when you want to propose a project later, when you work outside later, make sure you know what are the organization objective for that particular year ataupun masa tu. Dan bila awak nak propose project, make sure it align with what the organisation want. InsyaAllah will get a full support. Alright, so you must be alert what need to be done, what are the focus of your top management and so on. Okay, so in proposing the MOV project, alright, your MOV project, okay, it need to be measurable. Maknanya boleh measure, bukan short sendiri. Measurable meaning that it can be quantifiable. Meaning, for example, you promise that by having e-commerce system, it will provide 20% a profit more than what we have in previous year. Profit, senang nak measure, right? Because you already have the tools to be measured. For example, whatever customer pay can be considered as profit. You can track easily. You can track, you can measure, right? Don't cakap macam contoh, you want to your measurable, your MOV, you provide MOV that is not is more abstract. Contoh dia satisfaction. Customer will be satisfied more than what they have last year. How to measure satisfaction? Dia tak quantifiable. You need to provide another tools to measure satisfaction. How satisfied is satisfied? Okay, how satisfied customer? Highly satisfied? Quite satisfied? Not really satisfied, not satisfied at all, itu susah nak measure. So when you want to provide the statement on the organizational value, you need to have some measurable statement. Alright, and of course, as what the name mentioned, it need to provide the value itself, meaning that kena ada significant contribution to the organisation. And of course, be agreed upon. What it means by agreed upon, as what I mentioned in the previous two chapters. Alright, agreed upon is like you're going to have a different stakeholders. Alright, you might work in with a different departments. Right, okay. For example, you are the IT department who are going to develop that e-commerce system, and the sales and marketing department is the owner of that system. Alright, so there are two main departments. So whatever you propose, your MOV, alright, need to be agreed upon. Sales and marketing need to agree. You as a developer also, you need to agree sebab you yang akan provide tools for that system to capture the data to prove that it can be measured. Alright, okay, and also it need to be agreed upon the top management whoever will sponsor that project. Alright, so another last part is verifiable, meaning that can be verified. Awak claim 20%, 20% sales increment, the increase of the sale by 20%, boleh it can be verified through the report from the e-commerce system itself. Macam sistem e-commerce kan dia akan keluarkan dia punya report, right, every month, boleh verified. There are some platform that you can measure that the data that you have. Okay, can we have a 5 minutes break? Setengah-tengah azan kat sini. For the time being, you can go to the you future to tick to your attendance. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So can we proceed? Alright.
Boleh, Doktor.
Alright, okay. Abid, how are you doing, Abid? Abid, are you there? Saya aku panggil aja. Abid, are you there, Abid? Okay. Mic awak tak function Alright, okay. Alright, okay. So in order to have the broad project objective, it need to support the MOV, which, right? So project objective, this is the one that you going to have for your group project later as well. Okay, when you set the project, you need to mention what are the scope that you want to do. Okay, what you want to develop, you want to identify what you want to do for your project to be completed. It can be you want to identify requirement, you want to design, you want to develop, right, the project, for example, right? So that is the scope of the project. Or you can also mention, but I'm not recommend that, but you can include schedule, budget, the quality is what the main functionality. Those three, this one will be in your project executive summary, right? But for the project objective, normally you just mention your scope, what you want to do for this. First, you want to identify requirement for the e-commerce project. Second, you want to design the e-commerce system for whatever the name is. Third, you want to develop the e-commerce system. For example, okay, that one is the three objective of the project. Alright, but of course, in doing the project itself, these are the 4 items that is very important. Okay, first of all, you must know what are the area, what are the functionality that you want to do. Okay, apa fokus awak? Okay, what you want to develop? What if you want to talk about the e-commerce system, what you mean by the e-commerce? Is it transaction? You handle buying, ordering, after sale, is it included in your e-commerce system or not? It can be before sale, during purchase, after sales. These three customer relationship punya process, will be included in your e-commerce system or not, right? So you need to be very careful about that. Make sure you get a clear description with your user, or get a clear description, or get a clear input from your sponsor, for example. Okay, so make sure bila ada tu pun, you communicate with your team members. Make sure everybody know what are the scope of this project, sampai mana yang you nak cover. It is very when everybody is clear, it's also easy when it comes to the end, especially when it comes to the end where your customer, for example, where your user, when you present the prototype with them, tiba-tiba they want to request for another functionality. This is easy. Awak kata, oh no, that is after sales, we are not covered that. For example, that one can be included if we agreed that will be a second version. Okay, so that is easy negotiation later as well, if everybody are everybody are clear what need to be done and so on. And of course, like what I mentioned, schedule is very important because it involves resources, it involves money. Okay, the longer, the more scope that you want to cover, the longer the schedule will be, the more budget need to be included. That's why ini tiga ni scope, schedule, budget, ini tiga serangkai. That is what we call triple constraint. Okay, if scope is getting narrow, schedule pun boleh dipendekkan, budget pun boleh cut. Then the other way around also. Kalau scope bigger, schedule more time will be given, budget should be added on as well. Right? And last but not least, of course, there will be the quality itself at the end. When you hand over, it meets what it's supposed to function, how it's supposed to function. It fit to be used. It conformance with what being expected by the user. Alright? Okay. So, alright. So this is the project alignment, like what I mentioned just now. Make sure the organization vision are clear and aligned. Then, based on the vision and mission, then you're going to have at the top management level, a strategy how to fulfill that vision and mission. And then based on that each strategy, normally you are going to have the project that be able to fulfill that, to accomplish the vision and mission based on the strategy that been set up. For example, for UITM itself, we targeted in 2025 to be a global renowned university, meaning that UITM been known overseas. Bukan known sebab viral here and there and so on, but it more on how we bring our student, being acknowledged. You here, for example, being acknowledged for your expertise. Okay, be acknowledged for your performance when you take a international exam. You score very high. You make a remark overseas, for example. Okay, even for the example, the lecturer itself is being known, is being invited to be a keynote speaker at the international level at Harvard, for example. Okay, so those are some of the example just to share with you guys. Okay, example of the UITM vision and mission in 2025. Inshallah, together we reach that level objective. Okay, and along that, here come your objective here, down here. What is your project in order to achieve that, to be a global renowned university? What are the objective of your project currently? Okay, so macam-macam lah project yang kita buat. Maybe like a certification, with the industry certification embed in a course. Okay, we plan to do that later, insyaAllah, in this year, for example. Right, those are the things that been planned in order to achieve the organizational bigger vision and mission. And of course, along the way, it will support with each other. Alright. Okay, ini saya dah mention. Okay, this one is also, I already mentioned that. So this is for what we call the pillar. Okay, pillar, 4 pillar that support the MOV. Whatever you claim, the project will give a benefits to. Of course, in order to make sure that whatever your claim is can be fulfilled, of course, need a lot of investment in terms of scope, okay, of in terms of the effort in time, schedule, budget, and also the expertise of the organization, of the team member in providing a quality product, in providing a quality process management. Alright, it's not easy actually to make sure that the project can be finished within time, within the budget given. Of course, it needs lots of a good skill, experience, a motivation from the team members, which closely related to the quality, okay, of the resources that you going to include in the project, right? So this is an example of a good goal. Okay, this is an example of the good goal. Okay, can I have Aina Shahira? Can you read for us here, Aina? What is the goal here that show on your screen? Aina Shahira.
Yes, doctor.
Alright. Baca Aina.
An example of a good goal. I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth.
Alright. Okay, thank you. This is goal set by John F. Kennedy. Okay, so in this, they mention about what need to be done, which is landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth. Okay, this is what the scope is. Tapi buat apa kat situ, tak mention lah. It's more on the detail of that project, the task under that project. So landing a man to the moon, on the moon, and returning him safely to Earth, that is the scope of the project. And another thing is when. When is time? Before this decade is out, meaning that daripada whenever it mentioned here, maybe in 1961, okay, ni masa dia jadi presiden, right? Okay, maybe the announce is in 1961. So in 10 years, decade is 10 years. 10 years, in 10 years, 61 until 1970, okay, 1971, okay, US targeted to send people, a man, bukan monkey ke apa, a man to the moon and return it safely. Memang dia buat masa itulah mereka hantar siapa saya lupa lah apa nama dia waktu COVID ni lah, dah lupa dah. Okay, people who actually go, memang dia hantar a team, right? Team to the dalam siapa pergi moon tu? Whoever remember?
Neil Armstrong.
Okay, masa tu ke yang dia hantar ni, Neil Armstrong tu, during that time, alright?
Maybe.
Boleh Google boleh Google. Okay, thank you for that. Alright, so dia hantar bila tu? Actually, siapa-siapa yang boleh Google and maybe can leave a chat there. Okay, when they are actually when US send a team to the moon, masa tu Alright, so they mention about what to do, when, but budget is not yet. It's not yet. That is a project objective. But the goal is that, okay, dia tahu dia nak bawa apa, who dan bila. This is an example of a good goal, right? So, in identifying the MOV, measurable organizational value, okay, this is the 5 steps. Ini one step one. There are 5 steps in developing the MOV. You need to be clear. Maybe there will be a question for you to develop the MOV. You will be given a case study, a short case, and then you develop the MOV based on that case study. Right? Okay, sometimes that is an example of a favorite question in the test. Right? Okay, so in identifying the MOV, there are 5 stages. The first one, you need to identify the desired area of impact. Area mana yang your project you think will be significant, give the biggest impact. Alright, the area mana yang boleh bagi the biggest impact. For example, for you, when I'm going to use the e-commerce system as an example throughout this developing the MOV. So you just imagine having the e-commerce system, right? So basically there are 5 potential area in any project. There are 5 potential area. It can be give impact to the customer, give impact in terms of the strategic, give impact in terms of the financial, operational, or social. Okay, so this is example of the area of impact that you think might be suitable for your project. For example, if we, like what I mentioned, you want to develop the e-commerce system. You think that e-commerce system, of course, can give you offer a more platform to reach more customer. When you be able to reach more customer, of course, you will get more revenue. So, for that, you think, okay, the e-commerce system give more impact in terms of financial. It be able to increase revenue and is also be able to get more customer, for example, right? But other project might have a different impact, different target. For example here, okay, for example here, customer. You think that if the product can provide, if your product can give a customer, your existing customer, for example, right, customer new product or services, ataupun awak nak enhance a current product that you offer to them. Okay, better quality product or services. For example, last time the customer has to pick up themselves. Now you want to come up with a better services. The customer can do the ordering online and in fact customize that ordering. Tak perlu pergi dan lukis dekat sana and so on. For example, if you want to order some cake example, okay, currently cake kena pergi dan bagi dan tunjuk lah ini pattern that you want and so on. But now you offer another platform to allow customer to order online with they can do their specification on through the online platform terus, for example, right? So, or you want to offer lower price product or services. Okay, if your product be able to achieve this, okay, meaning that you give impact to the customer, right? Or another potential impact, it can be another, you want to in terms of the strategic, if you want to explore new markets. Currently, if you ITM, for example, are in education, now they want to provide a service related to the nak provide, for example, apa dia? Okay, now currently UiTM provide service in terms of a conventional way, face to face. Currently, UiTM want to provide a degree that is totally online. Everything online. Dah tak ada dah face to face langsung. Okay, we want to go for open education, for example. So we want to explore new markets. Okay, we do not want to just rely to full-time student. We are now targeting people who are working overseas and so on, right? So that is a example of the new market. Or you want to increase market share, alright, to get an to join venture, for example, with the others, which can increase the value of your market share. Or changing the terms of competition, meaning that rather than you compete with you compete with your existing competitors, now you join the competitors. By joint venture with them. Okay, meaning that the terms of competition is changed a little bit. Sekarang ni you explore new markets, dan you do the joint venture with a significant competitors, or you join the joint venture with another people from another industry totally, right? So that is in terms of the strategic. However, if your project, you target your project to hit area in terms of financial, so make sure it fit this one. Okay, increase revenue, and also it can lower the cost, for example. Alright. Okay, and like what I mentioned just now, by having the e-commerce system. Right, okay. Then for the operational itself, okay, in terms of the operation, okay, if you already have a current process, you want to make it faster. You want to shorten the process. For example, if currently when you have when the customer wants to buy product from you, okay, you are the business to business organization, you are the supplier to the other organization. If before this, for all those documents, for example, the local order currently need to be signed by your manager. Now you said that to get the signature from your manager take lots of time. Okay, you want to shorten the process, because once the order come in, you want to give up the for example untuk paskan, okay, to give it to your user, for example, the purchase order, for example. Rather than having the physical signature, you want to have the system actually can produce that automatically, produce the purchase order automatically without the signature, but with a very trusted information being printed on that purchase order. Alright, so by having that, it can reduce the process to shorten one step. Okay, daripada dulu dalam 2 hari nak minta your manager sign, currently in few seconds you can terus hantar your local order or your purchase order to your customer, for example. Okay, or you can have a more effective process. Okay, effective proses yang efficient, faster, effective yang berkesan, right? So by having that one yang berkesan with a very detailed, with a more detailed information printed on your purchase and process order, it can be more effective and more efficient process. Alright. And also last, it can be in terms of social. If your project mostly not income generated kind of project, it just more on social. For example, to make sure that B40 are more aware, to make sure that they are more knowledgeable, you want to give knowledge to them and so on. You are doing a green environment kind of project, okay, it will be more on social area of impact. So in your project later, for your group project, make sure you choose one that are most significant. Okay, choose one project that is most significant. Bukan project yang most significant. Choose area that is most significant. Kalau awak kata projek awak, you propose a system that give more profit, it will be financial. If the system can give more, make it more effective, more efficient way of the current process, it more on operational. Tapi selalunya a student, for example group project, normally they are more, okay, they are more in term, they cover more in term of financial. Yang ini more on financial ataupun customer dia more on customer atau apa saya conteng ni, more on customer and financial. Normally dua ni je lah yang sesuai dengan group project, because it's more easy for you to calculate the ROI, your feedback, your payback period and so on. Normally dua je yang awak boleh pilih. Okay, kebanyakannya lah. Alright, and step 2. Okay, step 2 will be identify the MOV, whether it is better, faster, cheaper or do more. Maknanya kena better, how much better? Faster, you fasten the process in how many minutes? Cheaper, you can reduce the cost. How much? Dia kena ada dia punya value tu value amount tu kena ada later. Right? So basically this is how. And number 3, after you know what the area and in what way the adjective, yang tadi tu is more on the adjective part. Okay, how much better, good, more customer you get, how much profit that you get, then you need to develop a appropriate matrix. Okay, metric in terms of money, percentage or any numerical value. For example, if you said that your area of impact is more on profitability, financial. So you said that it will give more profit in terms of increase of 20% profit compared to last year. So your matrix will be percentage, and you have to increase. You have to mention how much increase. Kalau money, awak nak dalam bentuk duit, awak nak cakap dia dapat more 1 million more compared to last year. So mention that money. If you want to say that it reduce the cost by 20%, numerical review, ataupun it fasten the process by in taking order from customer in faster by 1 minute per customer. That is another way. So kena mention tu matrix, percentage in terms of numbers. Okay, and number 4, you need to identify what are the time frame. Okay, how long? Okay, how long that you target to achieve the MOV? Is it after 6 months of launching? Normally, I always advise student to do it in 1 year. Okay, in a year. That is easy to calculate actually. And last but not least is to verify the MOV. Okay. So this is the example. This is the example. This is what you want to do. Okay, area of impact. Okay, if this is the case, increase awareness for healthy living. Okay, do you think which area of impact, the 5 area of impact just now, which one is this statement fall under? Sekejap. Yang mana? Siapa?
Sosial.
Okay. Social. Very direct kan? Senang ni kan? Okay, this is social punya. Increase awareness. So, social tu you don't have to mention. You have to mention yang dalam kotak kecil tu Okay, so by having this is numbers, how many? Alright, how many for a weekly within 6 months? Dia nak capai dalam masa 6 bulan. So basically what you need to do in the developing the MOV is what, how much, how long. That 3 things kena answer. So if you are given a question like this in your final, alright, or in your those 3 characteristics you need to have in developing your MOV. Okay, this is some of the example as well. Okay, customer within 3 months, 65% our customer will visit what? Will visit at least once a week. So, ada what, when, how much. Semua tu ada dekat sini. Alright? Okay. So, there are 2 ways of doing it. Okay, one is through having this MOV statement. Satu statement, so you use all those 3 untuk berapa lama lah untuk kira. Or, you can use it in a table format. You use it in table format if based on that particular range of time, okay, based on that particular range of time, the numbers that you targeting is different. Kalau numbers tu different due to some what we call that seasoning, seasoning pula ni. Okay, for masa cuti sekolah, for example, there are certain occasion that lead to a different numbers. So you using in term of a table form, right? For example, 6 months 250. Tapi 1 year a bit different. It will be 600. But in 2 years, there will be a different number. So when you double up, it difference. Kan kalau kira untuk kira double ke tak, timing dia macam double. Tapi the numbers will be different. So you are advisable to use MOV table format. Alright, when you set the measurable organizational value. So it is make sure whatever numbers that you put here, it can be verifiable later. How to verify? Tengoklah subscribers, the registration form and so on. Okay, so these are the summary of all those 6 stages just now. Make sure you understand all these 6 stages and be able at the end of the day, be able to develop this. Ni yang paling penting. Selalunya soalan akan tanya develop one, but show how you grade, tapi yang last kali it will be a significant impact. Okay. The business case itself, alright, definition of business case, analysis of the organizational value, feasibility, cost, benefit, risk, or of several proposed alternative or option. So normally that's why lah I tak panggil business case, I normally panggil project proposal sahaja, because normally during this ODL hours, during this ODL time, I won't ask student to develop a alternative options. Alternative option ni is a bit complex, a little bit. Okay. just bagi sahaja what we assume that everybody will come up with, will develop from scratch, right? So you do not have to provide the scoring score just now, right? Anyway, attributes of good business case. Okay, if you go outside later, go outside when you actually work outside in the industry, you need to develop a business case. So make sure you provide all the positive impact, costs and benefits, and be able to compare the benefits impact of each alternative, right? And provide objective and systematic in terms of summarize and finding. So business case, they really emphasize on alternative. Normally for the organization, when they want to propose a project, when they want to invest in a project, they will look into all area. Which one is can give the least cost but the most profit. Itulah kena banyak alternatif mana we go for that. Nak beli dah siap, you want to do the business process engineering, or you actually want to develop from scratch. So all those need to provide in terms of the comparison for each alternative, and for each alternative you need to really study what are the costs and benefit, what are the impact, how much money, how cost, how much benefit, the financial model for each one. So it's got quite lots of things to do lah actually, right? So anyway, in order to develop the business case, of course this is not only a business case for you itself. Memang everybody in a group, you need to develop the MOV, and you need to form a cross business case team. Okay, MOV like what the 5 stages that I mentioned just now. And then I already remind you guys to keep to get group, to form a group. Maybe your lecturer later, your Puan Farah and also Puan Nazira. Okay, Cik Nazira will ask request for a team. Okay, a list of team from each one of you, from each group. And then make sure when you develop a team in a project, in a group project, you need to name each one of you, the roles of each one of you. It need to be cross-functional. Everybody need to have a unique skills and expertise. Tak boleh sama kalau programmer satu tapi yang lain mesti ada system analyst. Maybe there are 5 or 6 of you, right? Okay, they need to have a 5 or 6 roles, different roles that are significant to the project. And for each role, you need to develop their function, their what is their expert, what are their area of functionality in the project, right? So whatever it is, make sure it fulfill all this. Okay, cross business functional business case team, make sure ownership kena ada, everybody agree to participate, bridge building, even though in a different there are different department. When you are parked under a one project, mesti ada bridge building, everybody need to have a same consensus and so on, right? And of course they mesti credible in their area. And also develop like what I mentioned, identify alternative. It can be these 5 alternative, but like what I mentioned to you guys, untuk awak, okay, maybe yours will be here. Okay, terus you are all custom building a new application using internal resources, or outsourcing the development to another company. If you are outsourcing, you assume you are the one that the company hired. The team, the 5 of you, it can be you assume that you are working in a project, in a company. You namakan company tu, alright, to come up with a system, example, and which you will be hired by another alright, to develop a system for that. Assume you yourself as a team who develop a project, right? So the project can be, for example, it can be people you going to market to the school and so on, or you can actually approach a company, existing company currently, and buat dalam project diorang, buatkan untuk diorang. So there are two options. You can work on your own and start do your marketing, or you can work with the on the existing organization, right? Any question on that? Ali nak say, how are you doing, Ali? Ali, how are you doing?
Hi, yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Alright.
Sorry, my name is a bit laggy. I can hear your voice a few seconds after you stop.
Alright. Okay, where are you now, Ali?
I'm in college, Teratai.
Okay. So do you have any questions so far about this? About this step 3?
So far, okay. If I don't know, I will ask madam. I want to revise that. Okay. Thank you.
Alright. So make sure you prepare. Okay, you gather with your team and start thinking about what are the project that you want to develop. Whether you want to approach a company, or you want to build a project and later you want to market to any existing school or so on, and any organization, for example. Right? There are two options like what I mentioned just now. Okay. So step 4, define feasibility and assess risk. Okay, this one ini yang a bit ni sikit. Feasible, whether you want to know whether it is worth doing or not in terms of economic. Bila awak buat pengiraan, boleh ke? Boleh dapat tak duit? You do, whether it is worth doing, whether it can give you a return or not with that project, while doing that project. It can be technical feasibility. You ask around with the existing technology that you have in house. Okay, is it worth, or if you need to buy any items, any apps, any software, any physical tools that you are needed, is it worth buying or not? And the organizational itself, does the organization ready or not, the culture, whether they are willing to invest in this, to invest their people, for example, right? So all those things need to be studied first, and you need to assess the risk. And also in assessing the risk, you need to identify what the risk will be for each alternative and do the assessment and ask how you want to develop the response. If the risk happen, what are the strategic action? Alright, so this is the step 4 when you develop the business case. And step 5, you define total cost of ownership, where you need to kira berapa budget yang awak perlu buat. Alright, so budget memang direct, upfront cost, ongoing cost, indirect cost. This one, step 5. Sekejap Okay. Step 4, risk kena tahu, awak kena buat. Step 5, cost of ownership, you need to identify. Yang ini for your project proposal, you really need to identify what are the detailed costs that will be involved in your project. If you talk about software, how much software, you have to Google, ask around. If you want to buy any server, how much? Detail out that cost and put it in your project proposal, right? And whatever outgoing cost, indirect cost, and so on. Okay, so define total benefits of ownership. Total benefit is your prediction. Your prediction, how much profit that you will get. For example, if you improve accuracy and efficiency, you can reduce the cost. When you reduce the cost, it gives you more profit. How much profit that you get by reducing the cost of your operation? Okay, total benefits of ownership is more on the money come in. Total cost is the money come out. Alright. Okay, so this one and last, bukanlah last, step 7. Step 7 is when you need to do your calculation through having all those financial model. Okay, for example, payback, this one, make sure you read through again. You read through again the example in the textbook, how to calculate the payback. And also, you will do the exercise with your Cik Nazira and also Puan Farah later. Okay, normally this is all this favorite question, to calculate payback, to calculate NPV and so on. So basically, payback is the initial investment divide into the money that come in. Initial investment is the investment that you have masa mula-mula bila nak buat the system. Masa-masa nak develop tu, during the education stage. Okay, during the education stage, okay, how much? That is the initial investment, permulaan. Alright, the net cash flow, this is the money that come in during the first year, for example. Okay, during the normally, if they give by year, you need to calculate by year. If not, it can be just by average. Alright, so this is the money that come in. So payback period is 5 years. Okay, this is simple, right? And it can be break even. Break even, if you know, break even is when you want to calculate how many product that we want to produce or we want to sell in order to get back our initial cost or our initial investment. Okay, mungkin kita tahu dah awak jual burger. For example, cuti-cuti ni masa raya, masa bulan-bulan puasa ni nanti akan ujung-ujung minggu. Okay, you do your investment, you already invest RM100, beli burger, beli ayam, beli daging, beli roti, mayonis, cheese, nachos, chili sauce and so on. Alright, and you want to sell it, to open a burger stall. In order to get back 100, okay, you want to calculate how many burger that you need to sell, provided that the average burger will be 1 biji dalam RM5. Okay, how much? Itulah dia. So, basically, you want to know that how much. Normally, saya just now I simply said 100 the cost. Normally, in a question, they will give you a total cost to produce a one, for example, to produce a one product, for example, right? So, dia dah kira-kira if you sell a golf putter for RM30 and it costs 25 to make, you have a profit margin of RM5. So this is the cost. So break even will be, this is the initial investment during your setup at the very first stage, which will be 100, and divide into the profit margin that you get. You need to sell about 20,000 units to get the initial investment. So this is example of the break even. Okay, so another one, return on investment. This payback, return on investment is the financial model that you need to calculate for your project. Right? So basically, return on investment, again, like what I mentioned, read in the textbook, and also there will be some exercises will be given during your tutorial session, right? So return on investment, total expected benefits. Okay, this is more on how much money that come in, berapa untung awak. That is another way of saying the total expected benefits. Okay, minus total expected cost, meaning that the investment that you put in, right? All the costs that you have, okay, and divide into total expected cost. You will get the ROI will be the amount. Normally for your project, make sure you will get ROI within 10 to 30%. Right? Try to get that. So how to get that? Adjust accordingly. Right? Okay, so another way of calculating, right? This is one, net present value. Okay, net present value ni dia different sikit. Okay, what is net present value? Normally, net present value is where, okay, is where you want to calculate whatever investment that you have for that particular year, berapa yang awak dapat balik in 3 or 4 years. Depends on how long the project, your MOV will be. Right? For example, total cash inflow here is for year 0 will be 10. Year 0 is you have the project is still at the development stage. You haven't sell any product yet. Ini masa ni the initial investment. Bawah ni this is the initial investment. Mana nak colorkan ni? Okay, total outflow 200,000 is the initial investment because it didn't happen anything yet during year 0. Year 1, when your product is already completed and already been used by the customer. Alright, so the money start come in, total cash inflow, money start come in, and total cash outflow is, total cash outflow is, alright, is the cost that might happen for that particular year. Okay, macam contoh satu year 1 ni, total orang dah beli, orang dah subscribe, dah buy the licensing of your software, for example. You manage to get 150,000, but along that year, there will be also the cost incurred. For example, you need to give a training, you need to provide, to hire people for your sales rep, to go to give those training and to get the customer, for example, and also you need to upgrade your system. That will be total outflows, right? So in year 2 there will be another subscription, year 3 another subscription, year 4 another subscription. So you want to know, and under year 1 also there will be another cost and so on. Alright, so net present value is when you want to know within these 4 years, when before the project is completed, whether when the project is still at the development stage, until the year that the product already been launched, you want to know how much you actually got. You want to do some prediction. The net present value here. With also the initial investment that you already invest during the early stage of the development. Itu what it means by the net present value. You want to do the predictions of whatever investment that you have now, and within 4 years ahead that you predict the cash that you will get along with the profit, along the cost that you will invest, together with the inflation and so on, how much that you actually get for your project. Net present value ni selalunya a bit complex sikit, but among the most accurate. Meaning awak kena tahulah bila nak present dekat your when you want to actually present with to your sponsor, kena tahu what are the possible costs, berapa, who you want to target, who will be your potential customer, and how much profit that you will get. Awak kena all out to calculate the whole thing. Then you will get a most accurate, right? For example here, within 4 dengan tadi tu, ini cost yang dia dapat. This is the net. Ya Allah, sekejap This is the net cash flow after calculate the cost and also the profit that you will get. Okay, now you want to get nak tahu untung bersih awak untuk setiap tahun. Alright. So you need to calculate using this formula. Formula ni awak akan learn more. You will learn more in your tutorial later with some of the example. Right? So 200,000 plug je. Ini NPV ni, they want to know what are the budget currently, with whatever investment that you put in, considering all those inflation, considering your forecasting, your budget for your cost and also for the possible profit that you will get per year. Calculate all those using this formula. Maksudnya year 1, 200,000, put it here 200,000. It can be in terms of put it negative ataupun dalam bentuk kurungan. Alright? Dalam bentuk kurungan ataupun negatif 200,000. Then year 1 there will be C plus here. C plus here adalah this amount, 65,000. Okay, 65,000 divide into 1 plus 0.8 to the power of 1 because it is year 1. To the power 0.8 ni, it will be given. Ini selalunya adalah discount rate. If there is inflation rate and so on, they make some prediction there. Alright, they normally give you within 5 to 10 lah normally discount rate ni to make prediction. Okay, so for year 1, 65,000 divide into 1 plus 0.8 to the power of 1, you will get 60,185. And then year 2 buat juga dalam bentuk ni. Okay, 65,000 divide into 1 plus 0.8 to the power of 2 and followed by the others. Dan awak akan dapat ni ialah 200,000 negatif campur 60,000 185 campur 64,300 campur 79,000 73,000, awak akan dapat 77,371. Right? That is the net present value. Right? So ini saya just explain sahaja, but you need to read through again to your, in your textbook ataupun based on the question being given. Dekat sini dia tak bagi awak question kan, dia bagi terus saja bagi ni sebab dalam textbook tu ada. Alright? And when I believe when you are being given more exercises on this, you will get a clear picture of those. Alright? So 200,000 campur all this amount, awak akan dapat negatif campur amount tu dia akan tolak amount tu akan tolak, tapi nilai positif is more than 200, so you will get plus 77,371. So if the net present value indicate positive amount like this, it shows that the project is worth doing. Okay, the project is worth investing, right? So kalau net present value is positive, boleh terus buatlah, boleh terus proceed dengan this project. Alright. So all this, the one that I mentioned to you, mungkin awak pening sikit petang-petang ni, analyze alternative, which you need to calculate the payback, you need to calculate the break even, you need to calculate the ROI, you need to calculate the net present value. If the amount based on all this financial model show the positive indicators, then it is advisable for the top management to invest in this project. So it is much easier for you to convince the top management to invest. Alright? So that's why in your project later kena buat empat-empat ni buat empat-empat all this financial model and type, sebab you are all amateur ni, awak boleh adjust lah sikit dia punya amount, dia punya numbers, make sure you will get a positive amount. Alright, the net present value pun is good to have about 30,000 to 50 to 70,000 the net present value dia. Okay, so based on that, the scoring model, alright, based on that, you make alternative based on all those 5 financial model, and based on the alternative, whether you want to whether you want to develop from scratch, whether you want to buy from on-shelf product, or whether you want to re-engineering your item, your project. Okay, you need to calculate all those financial model for each alternative and buat cantik-cantik dia punya score. Score dia macam ni. Okay, so alternative A just now is whether you want to develop online by. Alternative B, business process engineering. Alternative C, maybe develop from scratch. Based on all these alternatives, you need to calculate all those. You need to do the project area of impact. Buat empat sekali project area of impact, and you need to do the weightage. If you think the ROI is the highest, most important to that project, you bagi dia punya weightage. Normally weightage ni lain-lain kan? Okay, normally you and your team can identify the weightage based on your experience. Okay, if you think ROI is the most significant calculation, you give highest 15% weightage dia. If payback is not so important, so boleh lah, boleh pakai. For example, you set as a 10%. If NPV is among the good indicators in order to measure the project success, you set it as a 15%. And also you identify area of impact. If you think strategic is the most important, you set it 10-10. If you think the project itself is insignificant, you set it this one. Sometimes awak tak semestinya ambil semua. Ini contoh sahaja. You can choose strategic. Maybe you can just choose strategic, or you can just choose customer. Your punya area of impact. If you think your area of impact is customer, you just tick customer. And based on alternative, tu awak buat dia punya, you punya score daripada 1 to 10. Kalau awak tengok alternative A, dia boleh bagi ROI dia tinggi ke tak? Awak rasa daripada skor 1 to 10, tak. Dia skor dia adalah 2 sahaja. Alright? So you set for 2. And then you calculate for each one, you do your evaluation. You can do it yourself within your team member, or you can hire expert to sit with you and to help you to figure out. Expert who are well versed in that project, who used to work in this kind of project, for example. Boleh hire expert tu untuk buat dia punya scoring model here. Alright. So based on this, alternative C, like what I mentioned, starts from scratch is the highest score. So it means that you will proceed with alternative C, which we want to develop from scratch, which is 8.5. So basically, the alternative here, the scoring model, like what I mentioned, is quite complex. This is maybe required for the high impact project. But for your project, for your group project, you do not have to develop this. Especially during ODL lah. Bila saya buat ODL separuh ni kan. Kalau face to face, senang saya nak get to each one of the team member of your group. I duduk dengan you and explain a bit. Right? But this one is for your knowledge. So these are the things that people in the industry will do when they want to justify their investment in the project. Right? Okay, and it propose and support the recommendation. Okay, so basically, any questions so far? Lama tak lama, COVID tak COVID, 1 jam setengah juga saya. Alright, Aliza, Anissa, do you have any question?
No, doctor.
Alright, Alia, Maisara, are you alright, Alia?
Okay, madam. Okay, doctor.
Boleh? Yeah? Okay. Alright, thank you. Irman, how are you doing, Irman? Are you still there, Irman?
Hello? Yes, I'm still here.
Alright. Irman, where are you now, Irman?
Shalom. Rumah sewa.
Kat rumah sewa bukan dekat pasar Ramadan
Tak ada ni.
Belum lagi Belum lagi.
Belum.
Alright,
Kejap
okay.
lagi.
Alright, okay, thank you. Okay, so basically those are the things that relate to ni. This is the business case template. I want you guys to go and read through your chapter 3. Okay, go and read through your chapter 3. Okay, like what I mentioned. Alright, and combine. This is the template that you can use as a sample to develop your project, your business, your project proposal later. But omit this one. Alternative tak payah buat. Okay, this one tak payah. All this do not have to have this. Okay, but it's a good introduction you need to do. Executive summary, of course, but this one is more on the project plan later. Bila submit your project plan the second round tu, right? But the whole thing, your introduction, this one is for your project proposal, awak kena buat, right? And read and take example that been mentioned in the textbook. Refer to that, right? And last, based on that, when you put everything nicely in this template, okay, combine with the assignment instruction that I already give to you guys. Okay, this one might not be, this is a simple version. Of course, you need to refer to the assignment that been given to you. Combine those, this one and also the assignment instruction, and put it in a proper format. And make sure those things, okay, being submitted later for your project proposal. Okay, last but not least, dah buat cantik-cantik tu, project selection decision. Of course, it will be based on the you develop from the scratch. Alright. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, thank you. Any question? Any last question you might come across bila dah tengok last slide tu? Ada apa-apa soalan? Tak ada. Fatin, Farisa? Any question, Fatin?
So far tak ada.
Tak ada? Okay, thank you. Fatin nak buka apa Fatin hari ni?
Tak sure lagi lah, tapi macam ibu nak masak ikan jenahak.
Oh, awak dekat rumah
Kat rumah.
Oh, untunglah. Okay. Sedap tu, sedap. InsyaAllah. Alright, okay. Okay, for the rest of you, if you do not have any questions, so we might... Ada fuyo tu ha. Okay, we might end our class session today. If you have any question, again, as usual, okay, you can always WhatsApp me, alright? And if you have any question related to your project that you are not so sure whether to proceed or not and so on, you can also ask me. Okay, otherwise you can ask, you have a lecturer for your tutorial session as well that you can refer to. Alright? Okay, with that, and please don't forget to semua orang wajib pergi dekat YouFuture. Please do so. Kalau tak, saya kena tanya seorang-seorang nanti lagi susah saya. Okay, please do so. Tick your attendance there. Siapa-siapa yang tak tanda, saya tak akan tanya lagi. Saya assume that you are not coming. You didn't come to the class. Yeah. So please remind each other. Pergi dekat go to the YouFuture tu. Amirul, remind kawan-kawan Amirul. Siapa tu? Pergi dekat YouFuture. Alright, nanti saya bila tak ni saya verify je. Nanti malam sikit saya verify. I will get back to you lah to ask tak datang kenapa, lupa ke apa ke. Saya tak buat lagi macam tu. Okay. With that, alright, thank you and selamat berbuka semua, selamat berterawih dan sebagainya. Take a good care of yourself. Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Selamat berbuka.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you,
Doktor. Selamat berbuka.
Thank you, Doktor.
Okay, bye. Alright, thank you. Yeah, bye.